And what do we think about the sanctity of life? Let's talk about that on today's 10-Minute Talk. Well, hey friends, hello, my name is Pastor Jay Wentworth, and I have the privilege of being the lead pastor at Spirit Alive Wesleyan Church here in Yakima, Washington. Welcome to today's 10-Minute Talk. So what we're going to be doing is, first of all, there's not going to be a 10-minute talk the next 2 weeks. So we're talking on March 3rd, scratch that, February 24th and March 3rd. There will be no 10-minute talk. I'm going to be out of town a couple weeks in a row, and so I just need time to be out of town. But that being said, friends, we're going to start a series today called the Wesleyan Way. And the Wesleyan Way basically means we're going to look at our denomination and basically the Bible, because our denomination is really all about what does the Bible say about things. We're going to look at some important issues like gender. We're going to talk about women in ministry. We're going to talk about immigration. We're going to talk about all kinds of stuff. But today we're talking about sanctity of life. And by sanctity of life, I really am going to be focusing on the issue of abortion. Now, I understand this is a very sensitive subject, a very hot topic, and if you want to label it pro-choice versus pro-life, if you want to get political with it, you can. But I'm simply just going to examine what the Wesleyan view is of the sanctity of life, the importance of valuing life as we see it. Okay, and I will tell you firsthand, personally, there are a couple of areas of this that I have struggled with, but after talking to people over the years, I have come around to a balanced viewpoint, I believe, a balanced viewpoint on it. But I want to review what the Wesleyan Church says about it. So basically, the Wesleyan Church, this is very straightforward, says that all life is precious, okay, and that life begins when conception happens. I mean, and as a former science teacher, I don't know if that can be argued, because growth and cell respiration is life. And nobody will argue with that. It can't possibly not be life if there are such things as single-celled organisms. And we would, if we call them organisms, it means that they're living. And so that means that it's life, which means, and you can look in the Bible for this if you want to, in the womb, we are living. Do we need the support of another thing? Yes, but we need the support of another thing, and every living being does need support of systems, of other things. And you can get into semantics if you want, friends. Well, what actually is life? When is something actually, if it's not breathing, it's not blah, 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 blah. If you have to get into semantics, it means that you have to argue against something because you're worried it's true, okay? And if you're worried that, if you're pro-choice and you're worried that it is going to be exposed that life begins at conception, then you, of course, dive into semantics. And that is a common battle against sanctity of life. And I know that's a struggle for some people, is trying to justify what's happening. Now, life is hard. Life is difficult. Choices are impossibly hard in these situations, because this just doesn't deal with the life of a baby. Okay, this deals with the life of everybody involved in the future of this baby. This deals with the circumstances in which this baby was conceived, and will be brought into. And I 100% have sympathy for that. I understand that things are difficult. But friends, things being difficult has never been an excuse to leave your situation. Okay, just when the going gets tough, the tough get going. It's how you grow. It's part of life, and we have to live with the consequences of our actions. And everybody does have a free will choice. We can't stop people from having a free will choice. You know why? Because God doesn't stop people from having a free will choice. Okay, He just doesn't. But here's the thing. When we decide to have an abortion, the free will choice of the baby is destroyed. That baby has no choice but to die. And they were never given a chance to live. Just in the womb, just for a little while. But then they pass without having a choice on whether or not they get to live. And I just don't know if I can live with that. Now, I understand that how hard it is in cases of rape and incest. Because those are born out of sinful action. And I've gone back and forth on this, friends, honestly, numerous times, because there was also choice taken away from the mother, or taken in the hands of Satan in those situations. But at the same time, in no way is that baby's fault. And again, the choice of the baby to live is eliminated. And I don't know if I feel okay about that. Now, when it comes to health matters, and the Wesleyan Church agrees with this, if the mother's life is in danger or the baby is for sure not going to make it when the pregnancy is ending, then it's a choice between God and the parents on exactly what they want to do. And because then we're talking literally about the sanctity of life, okay? Now, there is always, of course, fostering and adoption, but friends, and here's where I entirely understand the pro-choice side of things. Our adoption and fostering system is absolutely horrendous. The fact that it costs thousands of dollars to adopt a child is, who's getting that money? Oh yeah, we have to pay for the legal paperwork. You're telling me you can't waive fees to file paperwork, which literally costs cents because it's just paper, so that a child can be saved? That's garbage, and I disagree with it entirely. We need to fix our fostering and adoption system. If we want to have a leg to stand on in this argument for sanctity of life, we need to be able to provide a good life for every child. If we got to put our money where our mouth is, and we're blowing it. Our system is so messed up. Carla and I thought numerous times about adopting a child, but we simply can't afford it. And you can say all you want, tax credit this, tax credit that. How about we take those tax credits and just apply them to the legal paperwork and make it free to adopt a child if you qualify? Still do the training and the classes and all that. But why does it cost so much money to adopt a child? It is criminal, in my opinion, that there are orphans in this world when there are 8 billion people here, probably a good billion of them who don't have kids, who could take care of a kid, and a lot of them who want to, but simply can't afford it and don't have the means. And I've been there, and so I know. How dare we run a system where somebody makes any amount of profit off the adoption of a child? There should be no profit involved at all besides the profit of love that the parents receive. But I still don't believe that is any justification to end the life of a baby at any stage of pregnancy. It's not okay. And I am devastated by it. As somebody who has never been able to have my own biological child, but has wanted one, The thought of ending the life of one when you have a chance to be a parent, a blessing, a privilege to be a parent, is unfathomable. And that is where the Wesleyan Church stands. And I agree. And I believe that is where God stands too. Friends, thanks for listening today. And I know we didn't have any scripture today. And remember, the next 2 weeks will be no 10-minute talk. I pray you have an absolutely blessed day.